Gaurachandaya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tab Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Ramajnana Chiminda Sagana Gana Salakaya Taksmita Yena Tasma Sri Gurave Namaha Bandehan Sri Guru Sutam Padakamalan Sri Rupan Sagajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Tan Sajivam Sadhuetan Savadutan Parijana Saitan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devan Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radha Vrindavan Vishabhana Sutta Devi Panamami Haripriye Vanchakapatarubhyascha Kripasindhvaivacha Patitanam Pavanavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Premapadayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratisya Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Anandalila Maya Vigraya Himaba Devi Chavisundaraya Tasma Maha Primarsa Padaya Chaitanya Chandaya Nama Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Nama Namaste. So I thank everyone for coming this evening for our nightly discussion on the Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad-Gita, the beautiful sound or song of God coming from the mouth of Lord Sri Krishna. Of course, today, being the last verse of the Gita, text 78, today also coincide with the appearance of the Bhagavad-Gita, the Gita Jayanti, the day that Lord Krishna spoke the Gita to Arjuna. So, Mokshada Ekadasi, so which makes very significant day. Actually, all the devotees should, a day like this, everyone should fast. Fast means complete fast on a day like this, because very, very special day. Mokshada Ekadasi, the day Lord Krishna speak Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna on the battlefield. How many people fasting today? Everybody fasting? Complete fasting? Huh? I'm fasting. Huh? Anyway, it's good to fast today. Anyway, so we're going to let's read the texts, and then I will do some discussion on the text. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna Yata Pato Dano Dhara Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruvaniti Mati Mama Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yata Pato Dano Dhara Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruvaniti Mati Mama Yata Yogeshwaro Krishna Yata Pato Dhano Dharha Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruvaniti Mati Mama Krishna Yata Pato Dhano Dharha Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruvaniti Mati Mama Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatapato Dhanodara Anybody else? Matajis? Yatra Yogesara Krishna Yatapato Dhanodara Tatra Sivijaya Bhuti Dhruvaniti Mati Mama. Yatra, where Yoga Ishwara, the master of mysticism, Krishna, Lord Krishna. Yatra, where Partha, the son of Pritha, Dhanodaraha, the carrier of the bow and arrow, Tatra, there, Sri, opulence, Vijaya, victory, Bhuti, exceptional power, Dhruva, certain, Niti, morality, Mati Mama, my opinion. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. So it's a very long purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Bhagavad-Gita began with an inquiry of Dhritarashtra's. He was hopeful of the victory of his sons, assisted by great warriors like Bhishma, Drona, and Karna. He was hopeful that the victory would be on his side, but after describing the scene on the battlefield, Sanjaya told the king, "You are thinking of victory, but my opinion is that where Krishna and Arjuna are present, there will be all good fortune." He directly confirmed that Dhritarashtra could not expect victory for his side. Victory was certain for the side of Arjuna because Krishna was there. Krishna's acceptance of the post of a charioteer for Arjuna was an exhibition of another opulence. Krishna is full of all opulences, and renunciation is one of them. There are many instances of such renunciation, for Krishna is also the master of renunciation. The fight was actually between Duryodhana and Yudhishthira. Arjuna was fighting on behalf of his elder brother, Yudhishthira. Because Krishna and Arjuna were on the side of Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira's victory was certain. The battle was to decide who would rule the world, and Sanjay predicted that the power would be transferred to Yudhishthira. It is also predicted here that Yudhishthira, after gaining victory in this battle, will flourish more and more because not only was he righteous and pious, but he was also a strict moralist. He never spoke a lie during his life. There are many less intelligent persons who take Bhagavad-Gita to be a discussion of topics between two friends on the battlefield. But such a book cannot be scripture. Some may protest that Krishna incited Arjuna to fight, which is immoral, but the reality of the situation is clearly stated. Bhagavad-Gita is the supreme instruction in morality. The supreme instruction of morality is stated in the 9th chapter. In the 34th verse, Mamana Bhava Mad Bhaktaha, one must become a devotee of Krishna. And the essence of our religion is to surrender unto Krishna. Savadhamam pratyagya mamekam saranam praja. The instructions of Bhagavad Gita constitute the supreme process of religion and of morality. All other processes may be purifying and may lead to this process, but the last instruction of the Gita is the last word in all morality and religion. Surrender unto Krishna. This is the verdict of the 18th chapter. From Bhagavad Gita, we can understand that to realize oneself by philosophical speculation and by meditation is one process, but to fully surrender unto Krishna is the highest perfection. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad-Gita. The part of regulative principles according to the orders of social life and according to the different courses of religion may be a confidential part of knowledge. But although the rituals of religion are confidential, meditation and cultivation of knowledge are still more confidential. And surrender unto Krishna in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is the most confidential instruction. That is the essence of the 18th chapter. Another feature of Bhagavad Gita is that the actual truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. The absolute truth is realized in three features: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Perfect knowledge of the absolute truth means perfect knowledge of Krishna. If one understands Krishna, then all the departments of knowledge are part and parcel of that understanding. Krishna is transcendental, for he is always situated in his eternal internal potency. The living entities are manifested of his energy and are divided into two classes: eternally conditioned and eternally liberated. Such living entities are innumerable, and they are considered fundamental part of Krishna. Material energy is manifested into 24 divisions. The creation is effected by eternal time, and it is created and dissolved by external energy. This manifestation of the cosmic world repeatedly becomes visible and invisible. In Bhagavad Gita, 5 principal subject matters have been discussed: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, material nature, the living entities, eternal time, and all kinds of activities, Kriya. All is dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. All conceptions of the Absolute Truth, impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatman, and any other transcendental conception exist within the category of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although superficially the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity, material nature, and time appear to be different, nothing is different from the Supreme. But the Supreme is always different from everything. Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is that of inconceivable oneness and difference. This system of philosophy constitutes perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. The living entity is in its original position is pure spirit. It is just like an atomic particle of the Supreme Spirit. Thus, Lord Krishna may be compared to the sun and the living entities to sunshine, because the living entities are the marginal energy of Krishna. They have a tendency to be in contact either with the material energy or with the spiritual energy. In other words, the living entity is situated between the two energies of the Lord, Tatastha Shakti, because he belongs to the superior energy of the Lord. He has a particle of independence. By proper use of that independence, he comes under the direct order of Krishna. Thus, he attains his normal condition in the pleasure-giving potency. Thus ends the Bhakti-Vedanta purports to the 18th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. In the matter of its conclusion, the perfection of renunciation, and thus ends the purport to the entire Bhagavad-Gita. So this is very, is here the conclusion here. And of course here, Sanjay, so is telling Dhritarashtra, giving his opinion, because Sanjay, he was charioteer, he was a servant of Dhritarashtra. So obviously, he didn't want him to feel too bad that his son, they're going to lose the battle. So he's giving his opinion to Vaniti Matima. He's giving his opinion that Yata Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yata Pato Dhanodara, Tata Sri Vijayabhuti, Juvaniti Matima Madat, whatever there is Krishna, who is the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, booty, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. Normally the great personalities, when they are given instructions, because they are not forcing anyone to accept the spiritual knowledge. Because after all, every living entity is independent. That's one of the main characteristics of the jiva. That yes, you are independent. After all, Krishna is the supreme independent. Param is Ishwara. Swara means the independence. So Krishna is the supreme independent, and he does everything according to his own will. Actually, the laws, by his will, everything is moving in this material world. The creation is going on, the maintenance is going on, the dissolution is going on, according to the will, the supreme will of Krishna. To me, Sabeshwari Swari, Brajendana Kuma, Toma Raicha, that by your will only, by your desire only, everything is going on nicely. The creation is going on, the maintenance is going on, the dissolution is going on. Everything is going on by the supreme will of Krishna. But the Lord is so merciful, because the living entities, they also coming from Krishna. The jivas, they are constituted of spiritual energy of Krishna. Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti, even though it's a marginal potency, but it is of spiritual energy. And that spiritual energy also, it has the same characteristics of the Param Brahman, of the Supreme Brahma, of the Supreme Lord. And that characteristic is that independence. Of course, even though the jivas, they are part of Krishna, they are part of the spiritual energy, but their condition is that of minute. Their minute condition. So the Lord, he has a supreme power, supreme of everything, whereas the living entities, they have everything minute, in a tiny, tiny proportion. Like when the Upanishad, when they're describing the dimension of the living entities, it says that when you cut the tip of a hair, you cut the tip, and then you divide that into 100. And then you take that tip again, And then you divide that again into another 100. So that made the size of jiva. So, who's going to do that? It's unimaginable that somebody's going to take the tip of the hair and try to divide that into 100, and then take one portion, that 1/100th of that again, divide it again into another 100. I don't think the scientists, they've invented such machinery yet. You have to put it on a tiny microscope on there. So it's just not. But anyway, that's the dimension of the jiva. So in this material world, there are millions and billions and trillions of the jivas, of the living entities. So, but the Supreme Lord is a combination of everything. He's a combination of all jiva. He actually, just like when the Lord, when he comes, he manifests his body. And his whole body is a completely spiritual. His body is not material. It's 100% spiritual. And sometimes, according to his will, he may manifest that body in a very tiny portion. Just like you appear as a baby Krishna, baby Krishna. And at the same time also he can become big, like he manifested this universal form to Arjuna on the battlefield. Even that universal form is so huge, which compared from the ground to the sky, so huge, which actually occupied the whole universe. But that form is a 100% spiritual form. It's not a material form. An elephant may be big, but the elephant is a material form. It's not a spiritual form. Only the tiny soul spark enter into that body of an elephant. And the moment that tiny spark leaves, that body drops dead. So that is the reality. So, but the law, so he gives the tiny jiva the independence that yes, you can do as you like. So the living entities in the tatastha, in the marginal position, so they have the choice either to look towards Krishna or to look towards Maya. So the choice is there. So when the living entities, jiva, when they look towards Krishna, to look the spiritual world, so they become part of that. They engage in eternal service to Krishna. They live spiritually. They live eternally in the spiritual world, in a perpetual bliss, perpetual happiness, no misery. Whereas if they look towards the material energy, why? Because they want to enjoy material nature. They want to enjoy. So they look towards material energy, and they immediately become covered by Maya. They become captured by Maya, and then they get afflicted by the threefold miseries. And then, of course, taking many, many births, life after life after life. So therefore, in this material world, there is no time, there is no calculation as to since when as the living entities has been this material world. Because they've been here for millions and millions of years. So therefore, they are described to be Nitya Bhada, eternally conditioned. So you have some living entities who are Nitya Bhadas, eternally conditioned, and then there are some living entities who are eternally liberated. But nonetheless, everyone, both Nitya Bhadas, the eternally conditioned, and Nitya Mukta, eternally liberated, they all have their roots from the Supreme Lord only. It's just a matter of how each one exercise their independence. That's all. So the Bhagavad-Gita was spoken prior to the beginning of the battle of Kurukshetra. And the Bhagavad-Gita was part of Bhishma Parva, for those who have read Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is the history of the great Bharat. Bharat means India. India was not limited to a geographical portion that we have now. Starting from Kanyakumari all the way to the border of Pakistan now, or the border of Bangladesh. So Mahabharata was not, the great India was not limited to that portion that time. It was actually the whole world. This whole world was actually not that time, it's not Bharat Vasa. Yeah, Bharat Vasa. So it was actually the whole world. And the king was based in, in Hastinapur. He was the king of the whole world, not just a tiny portion. So that time. So the Bhishma Parva, this is the time, this is the section which deals with Bhishma Dev. That time, so he was the commander of the Kaurava armies. He was the commander of the Kaurava armies. And for 10 days, when the battle began, Bhishma Dev he cannot be defeated by anyone. He's undefeated. He's undefeatable by anyone. Even though he was the grandsire of the Kurus. The Kurus include the Pandava also. So he was the grandsire. That's why you call it Pitamaha, or the grandfather of the grandsire. So he was undefeatable, but he was fighting on behalf of the Kauravas. Even though his grandchildren are also the Pandavas, but somehow he was fighting on behalf of the Kauravas. So these 10 days of battle was, the Kauravas, they were winning. They were winning the battle because Bhishma Dev was there, and every day we kill thousands and thousands of soldiers every day. Just by release of one arrow, tons of soldiers will be killed. Just the release of one arrow. So that's how formidable Bhishma Dev was. Killing so much. So the Pandavas, they were losing the battle. So the Pandavas were losing the battle. So they went to Krishna that what to do. It seemed because Bhishma Dev is here, we are going to lose this battle. We are going to be defeated. What to do? So Lord Krishna said that you should place Sikandi. You should place Sikandi in front of Arjuna. You should place Sikandi to confront Bhishma Dev. Because Sikandi was, his previously was Amba, there's a whole story. The whole story is there. Amba who, he wanted to marry Vichitraveya. Actually, Bhishma Dev kidnapped Amba from, and he wanted to get her married to Vichitraveya. But Amba requested that, look, I've already have my mind to marry somebody else. So somehow she was sent back to that fellow, but that fellow said, I don't want to marry you because you already because you already been kidnapped by Bhishma Dev. So the whole story was there in the Mahabharata, that even though Amba, she tried to appeal to Bhishma, even to Parasuram, that do something about it. Still, all her effort was unsuccessful. So she entered into austerity because she was performing austerity. Went to the forest performing austerity, and in that austerity, the goal of her austerity was that she wanted to be able to kill Bhishma Dev. That's the goal of her austerity. She wanted to be able to kill Bhishma Dev. So she took another birth, and as she took another birth, first she was born as a woman, and then while in the forest, she met a Yaksha. I say Yaksha Gandharva. So while in the forest, so she became transformed into a man. She became a man. Just like nowadays, you have so many transsexuals, and man is becoming woman, and woman is becoming man. So this science was there before. It's nothing new. That a man become a woman become a man. It was there before in the Vedic. So Sakuni was previously a woman, and he became a man. So Bhishma Dev, he will never raise a weapon against a woman. He will never do that. He will never raise a weapon against a woman. So when Sikandi was placed before Arjuna, going towards Bhishma Dev, so Bhishma Dev said, I'm not going to fight with a woman. Even though he was a man, But he said, I'm not going to fight with the woman. So he put his weapon down. So Bhishma Dev would not fight. And then Arjuna was releasing his arrow to Bhishma Dev. So Bhishma Dev fell, and he was lying on the bed of arrow. So that lying on the bed of arrow, Bhishma Dev fell. Now this gave so much anxiety to Dhritarashtra, because initially, his sons were winning, but all of a sudden Bhishma had fallen down. So Dhritarashtra became full of anxiety. This was after the 10 days of the battle, after the 10 days of the battle of Kurukshetra, after 10 days. Because Bhishma Dev, he fell down after the 10 days of battle, and he was lying on the bed of arrows. So Dhritarashtra became full of anxiety. He said, no, what's going to happen now? So he asked Sanjay this question. Dharmasete Kurukshetra, Samaveta Yutsava, Mamakas, Pandavas Chava, Kimakuvata Sanjay, now, what's going to happen now? So which means even though the Gita was spoken today on the book Shadekadasi, but it was only narrated only on the 10th day of the battle. You understand me? The Gita was narrated on the 10th day of the battle after the Bhishma Dev fell. That's the day that the Gita was narrated to Dhritarashtra. So because Dhritarashtra wanted to know what's going to happen now, and then Sanjay, so he narrated the whole Bhagavad-Gita to Dhritarashtra. And then at the end of his narration was this Yata Yogeshwara Krishna, Yata Pato Danandara, Tata Shiv Javamoti Dhruvaniti Matimama, that Krishna is, whatever there is Krishna, he is the supreme mystic. And whenever there is Yogeshwara, means the supreme mystic. And wherever there is Arjuna has got the formidable Gandiva bow. That bow is inexhaustible. It can never be defeated. And also not just that, on the flag, on this flag, he has got Anuma. Arjuna has got Anuma. Which means, so Arjuna is the Anuma, so which means there can be victories only. There can only be victory only wherever there's Krishna and wherever there's Arjuna. So this was the opinion that Sanjay was discussing, telling Dhritarashtra. So which means telling Dhritarashtra that don't raise your hopes so high. Don't think that your son will going to be victorious. There's no chance of victory here. And especially after the falling of Bhishma Dev. So there's no chance of victory here, so don't raise your hopes so high. Krishna is there. But even though Krishna said that, okay, I'm not going to take up any weapon on this battle, I will not take any weapon, and I'm not going to fight. I'm simply going to be an observer. I'm simply going to drive Arjuna's chariot, and that's it. I'm not going to fight. But the law is there. Everything is revolving around him. So who's going to be victorious? So the chance of victory is just not there. And this is what Sanjay wanted to press out on. So this verse, which basically the last verse of the Bhagavad-Gita, and Srila Prabhupada, he gave a very elaborating commentary on this verse. And this commentary basically followed the commentaries of the previous acharyas, Srila Jiva Goswami, Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan. Also, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti, he did not comment on this verse. That the Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, so they commented on this last verse of the Gita. Bhagavad-Gita is there, and it contains all kinds of instructions. As last week I was talking about the fact that Gita has five levels of instruction, which is the general instructions. Then there's a Guhya, the confidential instruction. Then there's a Guhyatara, more confidential instruction. Then there's a Guhyataman, the most confidential instructions. And the Sarva-Guhyataman, the best of all confidential instructions. So these are the 5 levels of the Gita. So in the Bhagavad-Gita, there is something there for everybody. And we should know that it's not that Krishna spoke the Bhagavad-Gita, because after all, in the beginning, Arjuna was very demoralized. He didn't want to fight because he saw all his kinsmen, all his relatives. He said, "Oh, why should I engage in this battlefield?" And then Krishna said, "Okay, you have to fight." Now, it's not that it's not the motive of Krishna speaking the Gita. It's not that for Arjuna to fight. That's what people say, that, oh, Krishna is engaged in this immoral act because Arjuna, he didn't want to fight, but Krishna encouraged him to fight by his speaking the Bhagavad Gita. But that's not the reason why the Lord wanted to speak the Gita. The Lord, using Arjuna, because Arjuna is his dear devotee, Bhakto Shimeshakashete, you are my dear friend, and you are my dear devotee. So therefore, I'm giving you these instructions. Arjuna is already a pure devotee of the Lord. It's Krishna's dear friend. But in order to speak to humanity, in order for us to really, to give up our delusion in material, so the Lord speak the Bhagavad Gita. Even though the Gita contain many instructions, Karma Yoga is there, Jnana Yoga is there, then of course bhakti-yoga is also there. The ultimate instruction is where the Lord says, Savadama Parityagya, Mamikam Saranam Braja, that give up everything, whatever I've told you, just give them all up and surrender unto me only. That many people, because Gita is the supreme, is auspicious for everyone, actually, anyone can get whatever they want from the Bhagavad Gita. Anyone can get all they want in Bhagavad Gita. Just like here in India, we know that the freedom fighters, like somebody like Mahatma Gandhi and some other person before him, they all use the principle of the Bhagavad Gita only they use the Bhagavad Gita principles in order to get the freedom from the British by using the Gita principles. That okay, by following the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, then I can achieve my aims. But that is materialistic achievement, which is not really the purpose of the Gita. It's not that okay, do your duty, perform your duties, and then you will get this. So for those who want like some materialistic result, they use the Bhagavad Gita for that. By studying Gita, that result is attainable. And also for those who are not really interested in the materialistic endeavors or in results, so they want to pursue liberation. They want to pursue moksha. Just like people like especially Sripad Sankaracharya. So who give elaborate. He actually gave a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, and the purpose of the impersonalists was to attain liberation from this material world, to get moksha. So therefore, Gita you have the part of Jnana is there, which is aiming for liberation, and the part of karma is also there. Now, as one follow the path of karma part, it leads one to Gyan, and Gyan, it leads one to Bhakti. In I think in chapter 14, so Lord Krishna said that Brahmano, what is that? What is that? Brahmano, just say, huh? Yeah, Brahmana Paristaham, Na Sochanti, Na Kankshati, Sama Savesh Bhuteshu, Ma Bhakti Labati Paran. So this is the 14th chapter, is it? I think it's 14th chapter. Brahmana Paristaham, that when Krishna says that I'm the basis of impersonal Brahman. And when someone attains this, there is no suchanti, there's no lamentation, and there is no desire, kankshati. Now, suchanti, because sometimes we take to spiritual life, and we start, and because spiritual life means that many things you have to give up. The austerity is there, so many things, a lot of personal inconvenience is there. And sometimes one started thinking that why am I doing all these things? I could be a businessman in the material world. I could be making a lot of money, all these things. Why, engaging myself in all these affairs of a spiritual life when I could be living a comfortable life, isn't it? One start thinking this way.
14:27.
Yeah, that's chapter 14:27. Yeah. That once I think that why I should be living a comfortable life, instead of engaging this, waking up early morning and go to Mangalati or do parikrama, all these things, and so much restriction, especially if you're brahmachari in the temple. It can be so difficult sometimes. So, this is called sochati, lamenting that, oh, I should have got this, I should have be this. Look at my friend, look at my mates, look at what they are doing, look at their achievement, and I'm performing all this austerity. But by following the spiritual discipline, for a person who has attained the level of Brahman, which means a person who have attained the realization, such a person do not lament anymore. There's no more lamentation. There's no more sochati. There's no more that lamentation. There's no more there, because the person has come to the level of rising above the needs, the bodily needs. The person has attained that spiritual status. So therefore, there's no more lamentation. There's no more regret, feeling of regret. And then, when there's no more feeling of regret, no more desire, also no kankshati. There's no desire to, the mind is no more agitated for anything. There's no more agitation of the mind. So, and the Lord said, at that time, mat bhakti labhati param. At that time, that person attained bhakti. Now, does this mean that bhakti was not there before? How come now, by giving up the karma and gyan, one attained bhakti? Is it that? So the example has been given that sometimes there may be a girl, this example was given by Bhagavad-Gita, that sometimes a person, let's say a girl, she has a ring in her hand. She has a ring. So she has a small ring, and then she was preparing she was preparing some dal, it's like a green dal, mung dal. Somehow the ring fell into the dal she was making. The ring fell into the dal. So as the ring fell, and then she was thinking, oh, what happened? My ring has fallen into the dal, and I cannot find it because the ring, it has the same color as the dal, So you cannot find it. And then she was wondering, she was full of a mental headache. And then her mother-in-law said that, what happened to you? Why are you making noise? She said, well, the ring has fallen into the dal. I cannot find it. So the mother-in-law said, okay, just cook the dal. And then for the mother-in-law said that, have you been in any other place? She said, no, I've only been here only. So he said, okay, you cook the dal. And then if you cook the dal, then you're going to see what's going to happen. So she cooked the dal. And then when the dal, obviously after cooking the dal, the dal, everything is dissolved. But the ring is there. The ring is never dissolved. The ring is there. So by shifting through it, so the ring was found. So this is the example that was given. That it's not that one practice the freedom from. It's not that one become free from karma and gyan, then one attain bhakti. The bhakti is always there. But it's just that just being covered over. But through the purification of when one becomes purified from karma and gyan, when there's no more consideration of that, then the bhakti can blossom. The bhakti can come about. So this is the conception which has been given, and the Bhagavad-Gita, whereby Lord Krishna said that I am going to give you my the most confidential knowledge, because different ideas were given in all the previous chapters. As now in the chapter 9, the Lord gave the hints of the confidential knowledge. He said, "Idam tute guyataman." That now. What's that? The first verse of the chapter 9. Idam tute guyataman, and Raja Vidya, Raja Goyam, Pavitra, like the Raja Vidya. He said, I'm giving you this is the most confidential knowledge. And what is that most confidential knowledge? So that most confidential knowledge is revealed in the chapter 18 text and 65, when the Lord said, "Mamana Baba Madakto, Marjajina Manaskur, Mad Evase Shachante Pratijana Priyosime," that because you are my devotee, you are my friend, my very dear friend. Priya means very, very dear friend. So therefore, I'm giving you this most confidential instruction. Therefore, and what is that most confidential instruction? Think of me only. Mamana Bhava Mat Bhakta, to become my devotee, and think of me only. And then, what is the procedure? What is the process of being? How we can think of Krishna constantly? Giving up all consideration. The Lord said, "Savadama Pratyagya, Mahamikam Shranam Praja." That just surrender unto me only. Just give up everything. Give up all your ideas, whatever. No more karma, no more jnana. Just surrender unto me only. And by surrendering unto Krishna, we may say that, okay, if I give up everything, especially when we are practicing Varnashram Dham, and in the practice of Varnashram Dham, you're supposed to stay in your duty. You're supposed to stay according to your caste, to your Varna only. And by giving up that Varna, it's considered to be pap, sinful activities. It's considered to be sinful by giving up your own duty according to your particular Varna. But the Lord said, don't worry about that. I will give you freedom from all that. You don't have to worry about that. Oh, am I going to be committing sinful activities if I give up my occupational duty? The Lord said, no, don't. He said, don't worry, I'm going to free you from that. So you have not Masucha, you have nothing to be afraid of. Because when one surrenders unto Krishna, everything is attained. After all, Krishna is the basis of everything. Like in this, in the purport here, so Srila Prabhupada was mentioning about different topics, which are discussed in the Gita. There are 5 main topics of the Bhagavad-Gita. The Lord, the Jiva, which are the living entity. There's Ishwara, the controller, the Supreme Lord. The Prakriti, this material nature. The Jiva, the living entities. The Kala, the time factor. And also the Karma or the Kriya, the activities. So these are the 5 topics which are discussed in the Bhagavad-Gita. Now, of these 5 topics, even though each of them are independently described, but they all rest on the Supreme Lord only. They all rest on the Supreme Lord, because the Lord is called the Advaya Gyan. He is the Advaya Gyan. He is the non-doer. Vadantita Tattva Veda, Brahmani Jaj Advaya, Brahmiti, Paramatmiti, Bhagavan Iti Sabdyate, that the Lord is the non-dual entity, And he's known according to Brahman, Paramatma, and also as Bhagavan. So people know him that way. So Srila Jiva Goswami, his whole Bhagavad Sandarbha is actually based on this verse only. This verse of the Advaya, this verse of the Bhagavatam. That's one verse. So Jiva Goswami wrote the whole Sandarbha based on that only. So this, so Srila Prabhupada mentioned that that everything is simultaneously one and different. That these 5 principles, which are taught in the Gita, they all rest on the Supreme Lord only. This material nature is the Lord's external energy. The living entities, they are part and parcel of the Lord. Time factor is another form of the Lord. And Kriya activities, this is the Lord's energy also. So you have Kala Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jiva Shakti, you have Maya Shakti, and then there is Bhagavan. So they are all depending on the Lord only. So by studying all these principles of the Gita, then we can come to understand the supreme science, and then become easy to become the devotees, because the whole purpose of the Gita, as I said before, is for us to become the Lord's devotee, is to become a bhakta. That's all. So even though you may find the karma may be there, the gyan is also there, the process yoga is also there, but the main ideology of the Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita, is to come into surrender unto the Lord. And that's what the Lord was impressing on Arjuna, that surrender unto me only. Because after all, even though Arjuna was saying that, I don't want to fight, but he has to fight anyway, because that is his nature. His nature is to fight. The nature is to fight. Even though he may temporarily give up I don't want to fight now, but still he's here to fight. Because that is, everybody has to act according to their nature. But the Lord wants us to be his devotees. The Lord wants us to surrender unto him. And that's why he says, Savadama Prachagya, Mam Ekam Sanam Braja. If you surrender unto Krishna, everything becomes auspicious. There's always the saying that Krishna Sanam Mama, that I surrender unto Krishna. Krishna Sanam Mama, I surrender unto Krishna. If you surrender unto Krishna, everything become blissful. In the Lord made a promise. He said that if one make a resolution that from today I surrender unto the Lord. From today I surrender. He said from that day on, the Supreme Lord take care of that person. The Supreme Lord make that person his own. And we shouldn't think that, we surrender to Krishna, it's not that we are engaging to him, we engage in bhakti so that the Lord can fulfill our desire, so that the Lord... No. We engage in bhakti for the supreme satisfaction of Krishna. That's why we engage bhakti. And of course, because bhakti is not a one-way street, it's actually a two-way street. When the living entity love Krishna, Krishna also love the living entities. Just like here in Vrindavan, the topmost devotees are the gopis of Vrindavan, the Brajabasis. They love Krishna so much, so Krishna also loved them also. The Lord said, Na parayeham. He said that, my dear gopis, I cannot repay you for your love. I can't repay you because you are giving up everything. You are giving up what is most dear to everyone, the society, your friendship, family, everything, to come to me, to come to be with me in the forest. Despite all the difficulties. So therefore, I cannot pay you for your bhakti. I can't pay you. So therefore, let your own activities, your own bhakti, be your own reward. He said, because I become bankrupt. I cannot pay you. That's the topmost topmost in understanding of the science of God. So therefore, I mentioned that Vrindavan, Parityagya, Pada Ekana Braje, that Lord Krishna is always in Vrindavan. He never takes a step outside Vrindavan. Why? Because this is where people love him. This is where they love the real love of God, the prem bhakti. This is where it takes place. So therefore, because people love him there, so therefore the Lord is always in Vrindavan. He takes a step outside Vrindavan. So that's why all the Acharya, they always say that whatever devotional service that one can render in Vrindavan, that devotional service is millions of times much more rewarding than what is performed anywhere else. Okay. So anyway, there's a lot of thoughts which are in this purport here. We should take time to read it, and because today being Gita Jayanti, that the Lord is speaking Bhagavad-Gita for our benefit. The Lord, we are in the kingdom of Maya. We have so much battle with Maya. So how to win this battle? So the Lord is speaking this Gita to us. So today is a very, very auspicious day, of course. So if there's any question or comment, yeah. Hare Krishna.
Oh, you were speaking about Bhishma Pita. On the 10th day, he was on the bed of arrows.
Yeah.
And this Kurukshetra fight was ended within 18 days.
Yeah.
So 8 days he was on the bed of arrows. After the battlefield, and Krishna took Pandavas to Bhishma Dev to get some instruction.
Mm-hmm.
So many days he was lying on the bed of arrows.
He was on the bed of arrows for almost 2 months. For almost 2 months.
2 months. But
Yeah. For a long time.
Somewhere we say that even within the 18 days the battle was finished.
The battle was finished, and then the Pandavas went back to Hastinapur, they got their kingdom back, and then they came back to the battlefield to hear Bhishma Dev. And Bhishma Dev was speaking for several days, not just one day. He spoke for several days. So it was because the Bhishma, there's Bhishma Panchami, which took place around the end of January. That's when Bhishma Dev left. So it's almost 2 months when Bhishma Dev was on the bed of arrow. But he was not pain. He wasn't feeling any pain. The guy was a mystic himself. So he was not pain. He wasn't feeling. He wasn't that he was crying. You know, no, he was not feeling any agony. He was just lying there. He was waiting. For, huh? Yeah. So he was waiting the timing, and also he wanted to make sure that Yudhishthira, he took up the kingdom, become the king. So he wanted to make sure that everything is settled, and then choosing the right time, and then leave his body, because he could leave the body according to his own will. Like that.
He was knowing that the Pandavas will win and they will come to me for the instruction. He was knowing these things.
Lord Krishna actually took them to the Lord Krishna himself took the Pandavas to Bhishma Dev.
Lord Krishna took him, but Bhishma Pita, he was lying. He was waiting for them that they will come to him and get the instruction.
I mean, obviously, because Bhishma Dev is one of the Mahajans, and Bhagavad-Gita, which is in the Mokshadharma section of the Mahabharata, is very, very full of instructions. It's in one of the last parvas of the Mahabharata. So you find his teachings there. Very, very vast teaching which he gave. Prabhupada summarized that in the Bhagavatam in the first canto. But if you want to read it, you should read the whole Mokshadharma section of the Mahabharata.
Next, now you were speaking about this Krishna. He never leaves Vrindavan.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was going with Apura, he promises that he will come back to them.
Yeah.
And when the gopis were lamenting that Krishna is gone now in the Mathura, he will see Mathura women, he will be attacked there.
Mm-hmm.
He won't come, they will be thinking. So how we can understand that Krishna never left Vrindavan? Where in the Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna book and other Bhagavatam, we see that he is promising that I will come back. But
I mean, this is
when he went to Kurukshetra for eclipse, Vrindavan, the devotees met him there. That is something confusing, cannot understand.
well, that is just the lila only, because you know that when Krishna Balaram told Akrura that Akrura should wait for them, that they want to take bath in the Yamuna before at Akrura Ghat. So coming out of the water, it was a different form of Krishna that went to Mathura with Akrura, not the original form of Krishna. Original form of Krishna stays in Vrindavan only. So original form of Krishna never leave Vrindavan. But his other form, like Dwakadesh, Mathurapati Krishna, or Devakinandana Krishna, that's a different form of Krishna. Krishna has many, many forms. Huh? Yeah, Vasudev Krishna. So Nandana Krishna never leave Vrindavan. But what you see outside Vrindavan, like Dwaka or Hastinapur, on the battlefield, this is different Krishna. Now, how to understand this? Unless, first, we must hear properly from the authority, but we also have to understand the nature of loving affair that is there. That even though sometimes the devotees, even though the Lord is there with the devotees, but devotees also feel the separation. Oh, the Krishna is not here. Every night the gopis, they have a Rasalila with Krishna every night. But they still feel that, oh, Krishna has gone, Krishna left Vrindavan. Even though every night they have Rasalila with Krishna. So this is just the nature of love of God, the transcendental nature. The separation is there, and then there is also the meeting is also the Sambhog. You have Sambhoga, and then you have Viraha or Vipalamba. Both are there. Now, both, it's like you have a river, both has got a bank. One bank is there, another bank is there. So the bank of separation is there, and then the bank of meeting is there. But it's there simultaneously. But devotee thinking that, oh, my Lord is not here, even though the Lord is there, That's why in the chapter 8 or 9, the Lord said, this is the last chapter looking in chapter 10. That, that the Lord said that I will remove that, that ignorance. Which means the feeling that, oh, I'm not here. That I will remove that from I will remove that conception from my devotees. So it's always there in Vrindavan, but due to the nature of love, the devotees feel that, oh, the Lord has gone here, he has gone this way, he has gone that way.
Also from Mathura, Krishna is sending Uddhava to Vrindavan to solace his mother, parents and gopis.
Yeah.
So how we can understand all this is?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, yes, Krishna said that, okay, send the Uddhava to Vrindavan to give consolation. Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan so that Uddhava can learn a lesson of the nature of love of God. He cannot give any consolation to Vrijabhasi. The Vrijabhasi, they are far above Uddhava. But in order to, because Uddhava is a great devotee of Krishna, so Krishna wanted Uddhava to go to Vrindavan and learn the nature of love of him. So therefore he sent him to Vrindavan so that Uddhava can witness love of Krishna which the gopis, which they are having. So there, by witnessing the loving attitude of the Vrijabhasi, so Uddhava was surprised. Oh, I want to be a grass. I want to be, he prayed to be in Vrindavan himself. He prayed to be a grass so that can be stepped upon by the Vrijabhasi. So therefore, there's a Uddhava Keri, which is at the other side of Kusum Sarobara. Because Uddhava Keri is there. This is a place where actually Uddhava actually meditated to become a grass, like that. So it's a very deep teaching, of course. So that's why we have to understand all these things from the viewpoint of our acharyas, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm wondering how we can understand that the jiva who are in Tata Shakti, some go to spiritual energy and some go to the material energy. Where come from their desire or the choice?
Yeah, because we have independence, Swara is there. So that choice is there. We can choose. The Lord give us the choice. He will not interfere with it at all. So we have a choice. It's up to you to choose this way or that way.
Yes.
It's whatever you choose.
But why some choose to go to spiritual energy and others choose to
So some jiva do choose spiritual energy and some do choose material energy.
Krishna's desire or
No, it's their own desire.
Own desire.
Their own desire. Krishna will not interfere with you. He will not interfere.
But from where comes his desire, spiritual or material?
But desire is always there. Because desire is the nature of the jiva.
Yeah.
Desire will always be there.
So sometimes spiritual, sometimes material for the jiva.
Yeah, but once you choose the spiritual aspect, then you always be there. There's no coming down. There's no coming back. So you're coming out of the body of the Lord, and then the Tattva Shakti, and then you made that choice. So do I look this way, or should I look that way? Most jivas, actually most jivas will choose the spiritual aspect. But some jivas, they think they can enjoy it, so they choose material energy, and then they become captured by Maya.
So it's a personal choice of the jiva.
It is a personal choice, exactly. Yeah. It is a personal choice. So let's choose. That's why we're here. Now we have to choose to go back. We have to, we have to engage and go back. So, Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gita Jayanti ki, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.